What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new edition of Thoughts Count Anywhere, live from the WWDB TV studios right here in Las Vegas.
We're here again. We made it through another week of wrestling, and we have another week ahead of us. Let's get into it.
The road to WrestleMania is here.
We started getting matches announced, including both Royal Rumble winners. So we now know the Elimination Chamber winners are challenging the other champions.
Yeah, that makes it a little more interesting.
It does. It does.
Let's start off with some rumors. I hear voices.
Yeah.
Rumor is WWE Creative is already making creative plans for the returns of Aleister Black and Rusev.
Well, I think they already had something in mind for Aleister with the whole dark arts of Lucha Libre thing with Chad, and which I don't see that being a long-term thing for Chad or Aleister either way, but I can just see it being something different.
Yeah.
Rusev, I don't know. I think Rusev probably ends up in TNA or even New Japan. Without Aiden English, without Lana, Rusev wasn't doing much on his own in the first place. That's part of why he got let go.
Yeah.
So it's I could be completely wrong on this, but unless you have those components, that package really doesn't appeal. Because Rusev's promos in AEW, while he didn't have the structure and guidance at AEW that he would under WWE, his talking's just not strong enough. That's not even a knock against him. It's just I don't see where he would fit in WWE's current landscape.
There's such like high talent in WWE now that you got to get to like a certain bar, to like even be accepted around there at this point.
Exactly. They've definitely raised the bar for everybody, and I don't think Aleister has a problem in the world fitting in. Rusev, I think, is a different story.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I even put Sorry Jacob on the thing.
It's all right, because I disagree with it anyways.
Rumor is people in WWE management want the main event of WrestleMania to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena versus CM Punk.
That's just an opportunity to protect either Cena or Cody. I mean, I think if you're not going to change, if you're not going to put the title on Cena, you're going to have Cody pin Punk.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to pin Cena his second match or third match, whatever it is, in the retirement tour. I don't think it ends up a triple threat. I think the triple threat that we end up getting up is the Roman and Seth and Punk.
Yeah, I hope so. That sounds a lot better than that version.
It does.
I did hear somebody's version of like, how cool would this be? CM Punk wins Elimination Chamber, so he automatically gets Cody. Cena's like, oh my God, I don't have a WrestleMania opponent, and it's my last WrestleMania.
And it ends up being Orton.
Yep, and there comes Randy Orton. I was like,
I don't want the retirement tour to be a bunch of nostalgia matches either. You know what I mean? I want Cena working with the younger guys, because when he's gone, those guys have to be able to step up. I don't mind doing it here and there.
Yeah.
But I don't think your benchmark events should be marked by, rematch of a match we saw 2,000 times. The matches between Cena and Orton were always fantastic. So no criticism on that. It's just I don't want Cena's benchmark matches in his last year to be, Cena versus Punk. Cena versus Orton. Cena versus insert somebody that he wrestled 1,000 times.
True. I want to see new matches. I want to see him get like the new younger people over.
Yeah. I mean, the roster today versus when Cena left being a full-time talent is night and day.
Yeah,
so there's
definitely.
no point to – I can see doing them. I'm certainly not opposed to doing them, but doing them just because you can't think of anything else just seems kind of – just doesn't work for me anyways.
I think the main event, the Cena – Rhodes main event would go down as like one of the biggest main events of all time.
It's got the opportunity to.
Especially if like Cody turns heel or they do something crazy on the way to this thing.
Yeah.
It could go down as like Andre Hogan, Rock Austin, and like Cody.
Maybe. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Those are some big shoes to fill. I don't know.
That's like one of those fantasy matches we never really thought would happen.
Yeah.
Rumor is WWE is reevaluating Drew McIntyre's opponent for WrestleMania after fan backlash of hearing all these rumors it was going to be Damian Priest.
To me, the Priest match makes the most sense. I know last night there's still the opportunity to get there with Priest and Drew.
Yeah.
With Priest just made the Elimination Chamber. We know Drew's there. I think there's still the opportunity to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best match. That's a year in the making right there.
Yeah,
like
it's
we
true.
saw some interaction between them, but after Priest took the title with the Money in the Bank, Drew's focus remained on Punk.
Yeah.
So the story is still there to do Priest and Drew, and I think that one does make the most sense.
I don't even understand why people were upset. I thought it was going to be like a really good match.
Yeah.
Plus, like the lead into WrestleMania, it doesn't even matter what like a match they start out with. The lead up to WrestleMania.
That's
by the
story
time
in
like
its
you
own.
get to Mania, you're like, oh my god, I want to see this.
Yeah.
So like
and
almost every match on the
we're
card.
hitting that peak where we're the week to week booking of these matches is going to be great.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. Rumor is Drake might perform at WrestleMania.
If I'm Drake, I'm staying away from the limelight after that Super Bowl halftime performance.
That was
I mean,
hilarious.
Kendrick just trolled him in between every single song. He was teasing Not Like Us, and then he just fucking threw it to the wind and said, let's go. Drake has – this is one of those – this is the Ja Rule Eminem, only nobody's worried about, Drake might roll up on 50 Cent or Eminem and shoot him.
True.
Like, Drake should probably just go back to staying in Drake's lane because this whole beef with Kendrick is not working out for him. And this, if Drake is doing this because he wants to put out his new shit and wants to get away from this beef with Kendrick, that's one thing. But if this is supposed to be some retaliatory thing, it's not going to pan out for him.
No.
It's not.
And he was like, oh, you got the Super Bowl? I'll get the next best thing.
A minor.
On to the WWE report.
Yep.
Logan Paul and Bayley qualified for Elimination Chamber on Monday.
Yeah. Logan Paul with a new finisher. Looked really good. He'll only be able to do it with guys Ray's size.
Yeah.
But it looked cool.
Yeah, it did actually.
So I'll give him props for using that. It's an old Kotaro Suzuki in Japan. Used that move. So props to him for finding something that not a lot of people are doing and are now doing.
Very true.
But good luck using it on, John Cena. Good luck using it on guys that are bigger than him.
Hell yeah.
So it looks cool, but it's very limited.
Yeah, it's good. You got to have a lot of strength and.
Well, I mean, the acrobatics of the person taking the move also has to be there. So
yeah, very true.
It'll be interesting to see him use it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll break it out on guys that like, holy fuck, I can't believe he got that move.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Bayley qualifying, I think that also kind of assures that we're going to see Roxanne.
Yeah.
Just because later today, we have Vengeance. We're going to see that continue.
Yep.
And I think Elimination Chamber, we might see it. I think one of the main event, or not a main event, but a match at Mania or Stand and Deliver will end up being Roxanne versus Bayley.
I'd like to see that.
I think that's a WrestleMania weekend match for sure.
No, and Roxanne posted like the posters for like Vengeance Day and Elimination Chamber. She's like, Roxy 2 belts is coming. I was like,
no, it's not.
It's totally not.
You're not beating Julia, number one, and
No.
number two, you're also not going to win the women's title from Rhea 2 months after debuting on the main roster.
She's not going from NXT straight to like one of the main events of WrestleMania.
Who does she think she is? Paige? Let's be real here.
Elektra Lopez was quietly released from WWE. They didn't even like announce her. They just slid her in the alumni section. We're like, maybe somebody will notice this.
Yeah, Elektra has a great look, but I think she was called to the main roster too early because the match from NXT that stands out the most when it comes to Elektra is Elektra versus Nikita, and both of them looked terrible in that match. And within 2 or 3 months, Elektra was on the main roster. And it's like, I don't think they gave her the time to develop. I don't know how long she'd been in the system. So so maybe that's not a fair assessment. But, she was put with Legado, and Legado is just another one of those factions that they're there, but they're not really doing anything with.
One of those ones that like they'll come out and be like, oh yeah, those guys are still there.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot they were a team kind of thing. I'm sure she'll end up somewhere if she's really focused on the wrestling business. She'll probably end up somewhere.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time though.
Yeah, definitely. She got to like get some matches under her and
Yeah.
a lot of reps and
Yeah.
see if she's got it or not.
Yeah, certainly.
Jey Uso officially picked Gunther as his WrestleMania opponent.
There we go. We got the main event of the Royal Rumble winner picking first.
I think we all saw that coming.
Yeah,
but
that one, it felt like it. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I hope it doesn't turn into Sammy versus Gunther that we got last year going into Mania, but we'll see.
I hope it turns into a really good storyline.
Yep.
We interviewed Demolition before, and they always said they wanted to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I think they got one step closer this week.
They certainly did. I'm kind of surprised because they were a part of the concussion lawsuit against WWE a few years ago that got dismissed. But we'll see. I think they'll definitely end up in the Hall of Fame. When you talk about legendary tag teams of the golden era of WWF, I think Demolition is the only one that's really missing.
Yeah, definitely.
Longest prior to the New Day and then the Usos breaking the record, Demolition were the longest standing tag team champions in WWF history. So Bill and Barry both definitely have the championship pedigree to be Hall of Famers. So
definitely.
I'm okay with that one. I like it.
Me too. Plus, with them signing a Legends deal, that means that we get new Demolition figures. They're going to be in the video
new figures,
games,
new trading cards, video game stuff. So it's always good to see that stuff.
Sign us up. Anytime
we can get those legends, the guys that paved the way, a chance to make some money, I'm all for it. Every single time. I don't care if it's somebody that I liked or disliked.
Yeah.
Get them paid.
Yeah, definitely. They deserve it. They're called Legends contracts for a reason.
Exactly.
And probably the biggest news this week, Ricky Starks appeared in NXT.
Well, we don't know that it's Ricky Starks. The person, Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's some confusion about if he's going to perform as Ricky in NXT.
True.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's my reaction to it, honestly. I think he doomed his AEW opportunity when he got into it in that unscripted bit with Edge. Because after that, they dropped the titles and he was gone.
Yeah.
That's not to say he's not a talented performer. We'll see how it goes.
I was waiting for WWE to finally do this, but I was hoping it was going to make a bigger impact.
Yeah.
I wanted like somebody's contract in AEW to expire, and literally the next day
it should have been
pop
on
into
Raw.
WWE.
It should have been on Raw or SmackDown. I don't think NXT. And I understand putting Ricky at NXT, but I don't think doing it on NXT made as much of an impact as it would have had he done it on Raw or had he done it on SmackDown.
Like if you would have just ran out and like helped Cody like during an attack or something.
Not even that. I would just, like they're hyping up Cody getting ready to come out to cut his promo at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And you hear instead Ricky making his remarks.
Yeah.
Like not even helping Cody, but like kind of a wink wink nudge thing by the WWE audience. That these guys, and we just brought this guy here. I think that would have been the way to do it.
Definitely. WrestleMania 41 is getting a little more legends to it.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was announced that he's going to be in Vegas for WrestleMania 41 weekend.
$10,000 to sit in the Hulk Hogan Real American Beer Suite.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Cool. Again, Legends deals get these guys paid, but I don't think that's going to sell like they think it is. I think you probably should have just included him in just like a Legends thing where you're going to get to watch the show with Legends, but but they don't announce it kind of thing. I think that probably would have been a better opportunity because now we're going to see how much of that booing was because he was in California and all of that political shit and all of the stuff with that. And how much is Hulk Hogan worth to the WWE audience anymore? Because $10,000 is fucking steep in today's economy.
That's expensive.
It is.
I don't think we get booed in Vegas because I've seen Trump pop into like T-Mobile for UFC events.
Wow.
And that guy got cheered like.
Yeah, but Donald Trump wasn't the guy caught on camera saying the things he did.
I know.
So that's a different,
And I'm just saying like different political parties.
Well, I mean, it's under the same political party. So it's not even that. I just think that between Hogan's credibility in wrestling with some of the fucking lies that
He's
he
got a hell of a
continues to tell.
past.
Like he'll tell you that he was the first to walk on water, brother.
I love listening to Hulk Hogan interviews to be like, what's he
Just
going to
to
make
spot
up
the
this
lie.
time?
Yeah, let's spot the lie kind of game. That kind of game.
And you know how you spot a Hulk Hogan lie?
Listening to
His
him talk.
mouth moves.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's between the constant lying. I think it's because of the shit that he said, got caught on camera saying, and the political stuff. Which
True.
again, I don't care about the political shit. I think it's a combination
Don't you have a
of things.
Trumpomania shirt?
I certainly do.
You
But
were
I'm
here
saying
once.
no. I'm saying like, if somebody speaks out against Trump, I'm not going to shit on them because of it. Just like I'm not going to become a Hulk Hogan kiss ass because he supported Trump at the same time. I think it's a combination of all of the stuff that Hogan, when it comes to the wrestling audience, it's a combination. I don't think it's just one thing over the other.
Yeah, most likely. Vince McMahon's attorney claims that the federal investigation has been dropped on their criminal investigation against Vince McMahon.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like, I'm really surprised that they were even able to do this. Just the timing, how long ago that all of this occurred. The civil suit's going on, so we're not going to see him strut out at WrestleMania. No. That's certainly not going to happen. As long as this is still in court, and long as there are still going to be headlines regarding Vince McMahon, we're not going to see Brock Lesnar. We're not going to see Johnny Ace, which nobody wants to, and we're not going to see Vince McMahon.
Nobody wants to see people power.
Brother.
That sucks, but
yeah, I mean, and apparently Vince has new interests that he wants to start, whether it's production or whether it's wrestling.
He can't start any of that stuff until this thing's completely
because you're not going to get talent signing up if it's wanting to be like a movie producer. No talent is going to say, yeah, I'm going to go work for the guy who's currently being sued for sex trafficking and shit like that.
I wonder if it'll go like the O.J. Simpson route, where like criminally he didn't do it, but financially you're paying these people millions of dollars.
Yeah, you're telling these people to and I'm not going to get into that because I have an opinion on that, and I don't want to. I don't want to cast any shade over anything. So I'm just gonna take the high road on this one.
All right.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's one of those where you're paying these people for a reason, Vince. Come on.
Yeah.
You're not giving them $1 million out of the goodness of your heart, kind of thing.
Very true. Rey Mysterio isn't allowed to do Marvel ring attire anymore after WWE getting cease and desist letters.
Well, for a while they were like, it was like Finn Balor before he came, when he was Prince Devitt, when he was on Venom, he'd done Venom, and he'd done all these different really cool Marvel character themed face paint before we got the Demon. Prince Devitt was doing body paint of Marvel heroes, and it was the same thing. It's just like changing the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders. Before they got to WWE, they were War Machine, and they dropped that. It's just like when Hogan went to WCW and Marvel said, hey, you can't call him Hulk. So they trademarked Hulkamania, and then he became Hollywood. So it sucks. I'd like, like events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble to do one in coordination with Marvel. Just, to promote Marvel, and to also, hey, WWE is doing this really cool thing. Because for a while there was in AAA, they were doing like a Marvel partnership.
Yeah.
There was even a line of Funkos, and then on the AAA events, they were having these wrestlers in Marvel style costumes wrestling each other. Like Brian Cage was a part of it. So I that kind of sucks because it was always cool to see Ray do those.
I wonder, like, because he did like all the costumes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean
but WWE also made the figures of some of those too.
And I think that's where Marvel stepped in and said,
yeah, it's because they're profiting off of it now.
Exactly. Like it was, and then I mean, like when he was away from WWE, he did a Wolverine one.
Yeah, that one
for All In, for the first All In event.
Yeah, that was one of my
favorite. He
did
Wolverine.
ones.
When he was at WWE, he's done Batman. He's done Mysterio. He did Captain America. Flash. Yeah,
that was a figure. I remember that.
Yeah, that one was that one, and I think the Batman one was a figure also. And I think that's more the root of why they were sending those letters.
Most likely, because you could it's cool to promote like Marvel and be like, oh, what is that? And look it up. And
Yeah,
well, once Mattel starts making figures and they're like,
that's where.
oh, that's not coming to us. That's
Yeah,
going to them.
exactly.
No.
Exactly. I think that's the bigger side of things.
They tried to get one over on Triple H. So Triple H got one over on
Yeah.
The Undertaker and
Yeah.
announced Michelle McCool to the Hall of Fame.
I don't have a problem with Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame. My issue is you have Mickie James doing LFG right now.
Yeah.
What a way to promote LFG by putting someone who's a part of the show, but not in the Hall of Fame in the Hall of Fame.
She's the only one, too.
Exactly. And if I wanted to go a little further, I would say everything that Michelle McCool did came from something she stole at TNA during a period when women's wrestling didn't mean shit, but the Beautiful People were one of the most over women's wrestling acts.
Yeah.
What did Michelle McCool and Layla do? They became the Beautiful People
of WWE.
I mean, her finisher, obviously the Styles Clash. But again, I really don't have a problem with her being in the Hall of Fame. I just think it should have gone to Victoria or Mickie first.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we're getting to that point where those girls, Michelle, Layla, Kelly, all of those girls are going to get in. I'm not shading them. The Bellas are already in the Hall of Fame.
No.
But let's get Mickie in there. Victoria was around as far back as 2001.
Yeah.
And she's not in, but we've got Trish, we have Jackie, we have Lita, we have Molly, all of them deserving.
Yeah.
Why are we still holding back on Victoria? Why are we still holding back on Mickie?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you gave Victoria a Legends contract and you're actively using Mickie for another show.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what goes through like WWE's head doing some of these Hall of Fame sometimes.
See, I think the Hall of Fame, I think before it was Vince, because it was like Vince, like they would for like Warrior and people like that. They would, well, let's get them in. If they'll sell tickets, goddamn it, let's get them in.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was handpicking who Vince wanted. Now I think it's because the way they surprised Triple H with Shawn and Taker doing it, I think it's moved more to who do the Hall of Famers think should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Triple H, you've got Undertaker. If those two agree, Shawn's going to agree. Well, let's put Michelle in too.
Who do you think inducts Michelle, Undertaker or Layla?
Layla.
It's got to be one of the two.
I think it's Layla.
Most likely.
But Michelle does have the distinction of becoming the first Diva Search contestant to go into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
The very first. So that's cool. And again, nothing against Michelle, but there are others that I think should got it.
There's others that are way more deserving.
Exactly.
Did you see the Samantha Irvin interview that was on Busted
I saw
Open?
parts of it. I mean, she's keeping the same story at the very least, that she didn't want to just be an announcer.
She wanted to be a referee?
Yeah.
No.
She wants to do something different. I'm cool with that. If she expressed her interest of I want to do something else or I want to leave, she did it the right way. She didn't go and start being a complete pain in the ass. She didn't start phoning in any of the ring announcing duties. And when it was time to leave, she left.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
She ruined ring announcing for me though.
Yeah. I
thought Lillian Garcia was amazing
until I heard
she
left
Irving. And then Samantha Irvin left. And I hear any of them, I'm like, eh.
Yeah. Well, and I mean the championship. It's like, stop. Just fucking stop. It sounds weird when you do that, Lillian.
It is.
And I'm nitpicking here. But yeah, she's not Samantha Irvine. Samantha was a phenomenal ring announcer. Hopefully the refereeing, she kind of gets back to like, okay, but it's not high profile enough for her maybe. And she goes back to ring announcing someday because she's a phenomenal ring announcer. She's got a great voice.
So she's got a great voice to do all that stuff. But if she gets in Tony Khan's ear, Tony Khan seems to let everybody do whatever the fuck they want, apparently.
Yeah.
And she can be like, oh, I want to do this. And be like, okay. So who knows what she might end up doing in AEW? Because she said her wrestling career isn't over by a long shot and she wants to finish her story.
Well, and maybe the refereeing is a step towards eventually getting the ring. Just because we know that back in the day, that used to be kind of the trajectory. You'd start as the referee so that you could keep a close eye on the people working in the ring.
Yeah.
So that you knew what was going on, and then you transitioned to, while you were doing your training, you were also watching as a ref, and then eventually became a wrestler.
True.
Maybe that's the trajectory. Maybe that's what her intentions are.
I thought she was going to get involved in like the Swerve Ricochet like storyline somehow.
I don't really see where she would fit, but it's possible.
I don't either, but
It's possible,
AEW.
unless Swerve kind of flips the switch and goes full fucking tilt on the heel stuff with him, and then he
Kinda like
goes after
how-
Samantha.
Yeah, let's say how he burned down his house got burned down during the
Maybe he goes to
Paige
that next
thing.
level.
and then he goes crazy and breaks into Ricochet's house and let's grab Samantha.
Yeah.
And, like kidnaps her. Or something.
Showing up at Hangman's house and everything like that. Maybe he goes and flips the switch.
Speaking of Vince and the Undertaker had to kind of defend himself a little bit because being near Vince McMahon these days isn't good for publicity.
Well, and I think this is a subject we can definitely get into, but I do think we ought to take a break and reset
Yeah,
real
for
quick.
sure.
And then we'll come back and talk about The Undertaker still associating with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Hey, Thoughts Count Anywhere. Y'all watching it. These are my new tag team partners, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Simple Fatu. I'm here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere. This is Impact Wrestling's Dashing Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Hi, I'm Sean Davari. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition.
Hey, we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard and Ozzy, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
All right. As we left off before the break, we had just gotten into how The Undertaker was with Vince McMahon at the Super Bowl last week in New Orleans, home of next year's WrestleMania. But there's a little bit of controversy that comes with that because The Undertaker had to defend his association with Vince.
Yeah, he said that we're still friends and I've known this man a long time and whatever he did, I never saw, so I can't say anything about it.
Cancel culture. This is one of those things. Cancel culture has gotten a little too far. I understand. I understand professionally the need to distance when something like what Vince has been accused of doing. However, that doesn't mean you cut off your friends. Cut off people that did a lot for you. You know, Rikishi did the same thing where he said, whatever he did, I wasn't a part of, but he gave me an opportunity to provide for my family. Mick Foley has said the same thing. So, you know what? It's good to see people that are standing up for their friends because in Hollywood, you know, we go from, you know, stories like this come out and Seth Rogen is shitting on James Franco saying, yeah, I can't work with that guy. And that you don't do people like that professionally really helped you along the way.
Oh yeah.
That were also, you had a personal connection to. If I worked with someone and I found out he was doing some heinous shit and my only connection was professional, fuck that guy. I don't want any part of that. However, if it's somebody that hired me, gave me an opportunity to provide for my family, helped me when I was in need, I'm not going to come out and actively support them against allegations against them, but I'm also not going to say, fuck you, get away from me.
Yeah, the amount of people Vince McMahon set up for life is astonishing. And the amount of people that are just like, oh, he did that, never talking to this man ever again.
Yeah.
Glad some people are sticking near him because
certainly
we live in a society that's basically guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, it really has. The court of public opinion is more important than the court of anything else, unfortunately. And it's just as bad as the shit is that Vince has allegedly done, and there's no way to validate or support what he did. That doesn't mean the people that were close to him should just completely disassociate with him. Good on Taker for putting his foot down, just like Rikishi and Mick Foley. I won't argue against any of that whatsoever. Chris Benoit was a phenomenal wrestler. What he did to his family, fuck him.
Yeah.
But he was a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
Separate what the person did from what they built. You know what I mean?
He was a phenomenal wrestler. It's the way he went out was shit.
Exactly. And that's kind of the same way to look at Vince McMahon. What he did is what he's allegedly done is fucking disgusting. But what he gave the world as far as the wrestling business, I love the wrestling business. I couldn't imagine saying, oh, Vince McMahon made that what it is. I'm never going to watch that shit again.
I guarantee if it wasn't for Vince McMahon, we wouldn't be sitting here right now talking about wrestling.
Not a single chance. And I don't care Tony Khan making his little smart-ass comments, the Harvey Weinstein of professional wrestling. Get the fuck out of here, you little dork. You wouldn't be in the wrestling
He's
business.
the basement dweller of professional wrestling.
Yeah, like you wouldn't be in the wrestling business had it not been for what Vince McMahon built. So maybe take that shit off. That's fucking ridiculous.
Facts. Right before we got on the air, a producer was like, we were talking about WrestleMania. He's like, hey, let me know when you get to spending the 10 grand mark.
You got to be close by now.
Well, guess what? Tickets went on sale for Raw, SmackDown, and Stand and Deliver this week.
Yeah.
I'm $1,000 closer.
There you go.
Son of a bitch. Wrestling needs to get unpopular again or something.
I'm waiting for the single day for that because NXT is Stand and Deliver is one of those tickets that I certainly do want to get.
Oh, hell yeah.
I have no interest in Raw and SmackDown because maybe SmackDown, but at the same time, I think that's when TNA, which we also got an announcement we'll get into here in a moment, is running at the same time or pretty close to it. And then, but by the time we hit to Raw, I am completely fucking destroyed when it comes to wrestling, and I'll watch from home, but I'm going to be half asleep when I'm doing it.
I'll be there for that. What?
Okay, so I have an idea for a new business.
Okay.
You know, you got all these dollar loan centers and shit like that.
Yeah.
Let's do something for WWE. We'll set up a payday loan thing so you can come and get
lay away for your tickets. Lay away for your
tickets. I know
tickets.
a couple of people that need that, but they would never pay us back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a really bad business.
We'd have to go and personally collect.
I would need a couple enforcers to.
That's okay. I know a guy.
Yeah, there we go. Vegas isn't short on them.
Break some kneecaps.
But yeah, a lot of events going on sale. A lot of talent announcements have come through over the last week as well. WrestleCon, the independent shows, TNA announcing that we're getting a pay-per-view.
I want to meet the Great Muta. I can't believe he's going to be at WrestleCon.
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
was a huge announcement for me. I love old Japanese wrestling, so to get Muta on there is a phenomenal ad.
Yeah, definitely get a picture with him and like the face paint and stuff.
See, that's
gonna be cool.
I'd like we're getting Muta. I hope we get Liger too. I've met Liger a number of times. You know, Joe DeFalco brought him in for an FSW show, but man, just like that's royalty. That's wrestling royalty from around the world.
Definitely.
So I'm always hyped when we get announcements like that.
I get excited like every day now just to see like what the WrestleCon announcement's going to be today.
It is, and on the TCA page for my Instagram, all of them like WrestleCon, Wrestle Dynasty, Prestige, every one of them are some of the first things I scroll through at the beginning of the day of holy shit, what did we get today?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great time. Now we're getting all the talent announcements and show announcements.
I'm getting way too excited for WrestleMania.
Just last week, there's a promotion based out of Florida, and I should have had my notes ready, but they've announced that they're running a show here. They're going to have Kenny King wrestling the villain Marty Scurll.
Oh wow.
Who we haven't seen here in Vegas since pre-COVID.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
He's one of those guys that got wrapped up in the wrestling Me Too thing.
Yeah.
Spent the last few years in Mexico, but he's starting to slowly get American dates again, which is good to see. But yeah, that's just another of a dozen new developments every single week.
Yeah, it's like every other day something cool is announced.
A
I'm
new
like,
show or a new talent. There's another one that was just announced a few days ago. A promotion based out of Australia is going to be running here.
oh wow,
They're bringing in El Fantasmo as kind of their main guy on the show.
Nice.
He's wrestling on the Wrestling Prestige
Oh,
show
wow.
on Thursday night. So there's just so much going on. We're going to get to see pieces of the wrestling world from around the fucking globe. WrestleMania
There's so
week.
many things going on Thursday night
Yeah.
that you literally have to pick.
You're going to miss stuff. It doesn't matter how much you try to meticulously plan. And I learned this, and I've done, this will be my 4th or 5th WrestleMania. I learned at my last one, there's just no way to do it. The main event for the New Japan show was Killer Cross versus Suzuki.
Oh wow.
Holy fuck, what a hard-hitting match that was going to be. At the same time that show was running, across town, Ring of Honor was running their main event,
Oh wow.
the Briscoes and FTR.
Oh wow.
So it was like, you can have one or the other, but you can't have both.
true.
It's one of those, you're just going to have to pick.
I think like when WrestleMania weekend first started getting announced, and I was like, I'm going to GCW before
Yep.
I go to like anything.
Yeah.
And then like that emo night thing got like announced, and I was like, I'm going to that. And then the Major Pod thing got announced, and I was like, hold on, that's the same time. Maybe I'll go to that.
Yep. And then the wrestling was the Prestige wrestling.
Then
show got
Prestige, and I was
announced.
like, that.
Yeah.
And now TNA is the same time. I'm
Yeah.
like, that.
It's like
Now it's for sure that.
it's one thing after another. It
But
really
then you're going to
is.
hear like something cool happen at GCW or something cool
Some
happen at Prestige.
crazy name appeared at GCW, like
You're
a
just like,
WWE
no.
name showed up, and like, you got to be fucking kidding me. FOMO is a real thing when it comes to WrestleMania week for wrestling fans.
Hell yeah.
You're going to miss out on something.
Then plus World, plus WrestleCon,
Yeah.
plus trying to like meet superstars in general,
Yeah.
plus everything else going on.
There's too much going on and not enough time to do it all.
I got 4 days off, and I think I'm going to be running around more of those 4 days than
Yeah.
2 weeks of work.
Yeah. I'll be skipping the gym that week because I'll be on my feet enough to more than make up for it.
Oh, yeah. On SmackDown, the footage was shown to Bianca Belair and Naomi that it looked like Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez is the one that attacked
I think
Jade
it's-
Cargill. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's a red flag. I
Yeah.
still think it's Naomi.
I still think it's Bianca.
You think it's Bianca? I think they're in on it. They're both in on it, no
Oh,
matter
yeah.
what. Regardless of who actually did it, they're both in on it. So
I would say they're both in on it, but we get Bianca versus Jade.
Bianca
at
versus
Mania.
Jade at Mania. Yeah, absolutely. Certainly. Like the lead up to it will be Jade getting Naomi out of the way. So I mean, we got to take this as a sign that Jade coming back is happening very soon.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be happening like probably right after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Or maybe she comes at Elimination Chamber because Naomi and Bianca are both in it.
Yeah, that very well could happen. Speaking of SmackDown and Elimination Chamber, we also got a new match announced for Elimination Chamber next week.
What's that?
We saw Trish Stratus come to the aid of Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, yeah.
Against
yeah.
Naomi or against Nia and Candice. So we're going to get to see another in-ring return at Elimination Chamber with Trish Stratus.
It's crazy how
teaming-
Trish always appears like WrestleMania season.
Yeah, right before the shows in Toronto. It's always, which, hey, it's cool. It's always good to see Trish. As long as Trish is here in Vegas, I'm okay with it.
Me too.
But yeah, I love the pairing of Trish and Tiffany. Just because, I mean, you're taking the golden girl of the Attitude Era versus who looks to be the golden girl of the new era.
I was gonna say, if you want to give somebody the rub,
There it is, right
there's
there.
the rub.
Unfortunately, I think we've missed the window of Trish and Alexa. But we could always come back to that. But it looked
Yeah.
like for a while they were gonna give that rub to Alexa. Now it looks like it's going to Tiffany.
Huh?
But
Speaking of Alexa,
yeah,
she did that little thing backstage with Nia,
yeah,
and then the thing from like
the Wyatt.
the Wyatt Six came up.
Yeah. I mean, I went through that frame by frame after when it was posted on Instagram and downloaded the video and watched it in slow mo. We saw the hurt heel ties. We saw the Raven in the red circle. So it's going to be interesting. Are we going to see Bliss fight back against that, or are we going to see Bliss embrace that? So there's a lot of wheels turning right now when it comes to the stories that we're seeing on WWE right now. And it's good to see that they're fitting in more than they've ever been able to do before.
as much as I love Alexa, what if she wins Elimination Chamber, goes after Rhea with the Wyatt Six?
Yeah.
That could turn into a whole thing.
A whole horror fucking over the next few weeks. It could be great.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want to see Liv versus Rhea again.
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
really
all
don't
over
either.
it.
I think so too.
I want to see Rhea and I want to see Liv in a WrestleMania match, obviously.
Yeah.
But
And I'm
just
sure
not
she
against Rhea. We've seen it for a year now.
Yeah. Well, and I think I don't know. Like I saw, just like you mentioned, how you saw the one where Punk wins, Cena doesn't have a path to Mania. They announce Orton. I saw one, and I keep seeing it, where Finn is now. There's cracks in the Judgment Day with Finn.
Yeah.
AJ is back, and we saw him face to face with Dom and Carlito. What if Liv, following her loss at Elimination Chamber, because it initially started as Finn, AJ, and Liv trying to take down the Judgment Day.
Oh yeah.
What if they take them down from within?
That'd be.
And AJ's now here to really break it apart. Like Finn and Liv were there to start cracking it, and AJ's now back to break it.
That'd be cool as shit.
Yeah,
I still have that picture printed out somewhere
of the three of them.
Going like this. I want to get that thing signed.
I've got
so
Liv
bad.
on there already. I haven't had a chance to get Finn or AJ.
Oh wow.
So
that'd be cool. That's one of my WrestleMania goals.
Yeah. Finishing projects is definitely the WrestleMania goal. And I've got fortunately, some of the outside WWE stuff is going to allow me to do that. I got posters that need to be done, group photos. I have card sets that are almost done, and the names are getting announced for WrestleCon or independent shows and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
So,
You can do a lot of running around.
yeah, I am. I am thinking I need to rent a car because I don't want to put all those miles on mine.
Speaking of what we were talking about earlier, too, Charlotte picks Tiffany as her WrestleMania opponent.
Yeah. That's, I think that one, the writing was on the wall for that one. That's the one that the fans wanted to see also.
Oh, that's going to be a banger of
just
a
because
match.
we'd already seen Rhea versus Charlotte before.
Yeah.
Great match, and it would have been again. But I think everybody wanted Charlotte and Tiffany.
They're putting the NASA rocket on Tiffany
They
right
certainly
now.
are. Giving her the rub from Trish, having her beat Nia, cashing in when she did. They certainly are.
Huh?
And it's good to see. She's a great talent.
Vengeance Day is it tomorrow or tonight?
I believe it's tonight.
I think it is tonight. We'll go over our predictions real quick.
Sure.
The NXT Championship, Oba Femi versus Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller.
A-Town Down Under is going to be on the losing end, but I think this will further divide the team. I think we're going to see them split full time. Oba is certainly retaining.
Oh, Oba Femi is for sure retaining.
Yeah.
But I kind of see the WrestleMania ending where he stacks them up and pins them both.
Yeah, and that's the way to do it if you want to get somebody over like a monster.
NXT Women's Championship, Julia versus Bayley versus Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez.
Julia's keeping it. I think that goes without saying. I think we're going to see the continuation of Roxanne. I think Cora is in the match to take the pin.
Yeah.
Because Roxanne and Bayley are going to break off and do their own thing. Just because that's what we've seen over the last few weeks with the Rumble, and now, Bayley's in the chamber. I think we're going to see that continuation.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that happening, definitely. NXT Women's North American Championship, Fallon Henley versus Stephanie Vaquer.
I'm torn on this one. I think Stephanie wins it. However, I think Fallon, in my opinion, Fallon should retain. Just because the title reign hasn't been that great for Fallon. They haven't really given her a breakout opportunity yet. Pinning Stephanie is the way to go. But I think Stephanie's the hot hand right now, and you're going to want to go with that one.
Yeah, as I say, she's like hot right now, and
in more ways than
one of those big signings that you got to do something with.
Yeah,
I think she wins the belt.
Certainly.
In a strap match, Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe.
This one, you're going to cringe watching this match. They're going to fucking beat the piss out of one another with that strap.
Hell yeah.
We've already seen it with Eddie getting a hold of Trick a few weeks ago.
Oh.
This is going to be brutal, but Trick obviously is going to go over.
Yep. NXT Tag Team Championships, Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Josh Briggs and
Fraxium aren't losing it.
Nah.
I think your stand and deliver tag team title match is going to be Hardys versus Fraxium.
Dope.
I think that's what we get at Stand and Deliver. So you're going to use Briggs and Inamura to get them another win.
Speaking of, if you're looking for a Stand and Deliver ticket, Ryan bought like the combo tickets with me, and he doesn't want to go to Stand and Deliver. So I guarantee he's selling a ticket.
I'll have to reach out because I definitely I don't know because Chris and I if I go, I've got to take Chris for that one. So
gotcha.
So we'll figure it out
for sure. And then Gian Evans versus Ethan Page.
I think Page should win, but given that they're bringing Javon back, telling this story that he's been injured, coming back, Javon's going to win it.
Yeah, just by storytelling wise, I think
just
it's
heat
Evans.
Page up some more is what I want to see.
Yeah.
Like Ethan is one of those guys that if you called him up after WrestleMania, he could fucking shine right away. But yeah, I think Javon wins.
Definitely. I turned on Twitter, and the internet wrestling community is going all sorts of crazy. And I was all like, what's this all about?
What now?
And then I realized the Wrestling Observer Awards came out.
Yep.
Which everyone was giving shit about Dave Meltzer to, but he doesn't even vote on them.
Yeah, it's
himself.
his subscribers that vote on it. I'm not even going to get into it. But yeah, I mean, the awards are voted on by the fans. These are people that pay money to have their voice heard.
Yeah.
So it's no different than I want to go to a show and I want to boo John Cena or I want to cheer for whoever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I don't like Meltzer's star ratings are not voted on by the fans. So if you want to critique them, fine, but it's his opinion.
Yeah.
These are voted on by fans.
True.
I don't see why people get so pissed off about these. It's not like it's a committee of people that have to get their opinion in, like the PWI 500, which is purely based off of opinion.
Oh, yeah.
These are fan awards.
Yeah.
So I don't see why people are upset. Wrestler of the Year going to Cody Rhodes is a fucking no-brainer.
That's a given.
Yeah.
If it go to anybody else, I'll just start questioning.
Yeah,
things.
exactly. That was a fucking no-brainer. He beat Roman Reigns, ended a 4-year title reign.
Yeah.
That makes the most
And
sense.
has been champion ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you critique of the reign all you want, but
he has the biggest prize in the game.
Exactly. The story that he's told over the last few months with beating Roman, facing Solo. Now he's getting face-to-face with the werewolf. That story alone has been great. And then you have the story of Kevin in there. You have the story of will he, won't he teaming with Roman. All of that has been a phenomenal fucking story. And if it were anybody but Cody, I would disagree.
I wonder what they're going to do with Jacob Fatu, because that dude got probably a biggest pop as Cody did.
He did. Last night, he was they were chanting that man's name.
It was loud.
I wonder if we don't see Bloodline versus Bloodline again with Jacob versus Solo over who's going to lead the new Bloodline.
I could see that.
But who knows?
I don't know. They better have big plans for Jacob.
You got to give him his first WrestleMania. You've got to use him. You have to. You can't just put him in some throwaway match.
I think fans would riot if Jacob Fatu wasn't a part of WrestleMania.
He'll be a part of it. I just don't throw him on a fucking battle royal on SmackDown.
I swear to God, if
even
he
if
wins
he
the
wins
Andre the
Rumble,
Giant Memorial Battle Royal,
even if he wins the Battle Royal, cool. But it's still the fucking match that you put all the guys in that you don't have anything for.
Yeah.
So
he's got to be in a good marquee match.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has to. Most outstanding wrestler, Will Ospreay.
I would agree with that one too.
Yeah, me too.
I can't think of if wrestling style opinions aside, Will Ospreay is one of the most exciting wrestlers to watch, bar none.
No,
that's not a fan of a promotion affiliation thing. It's just what the guy does is fucking amazing.
Yeah, he's one of the best to do it.
Yeah.
Tag team of the year, the Young Bucks.
I will dispute that myself.
That's dumb.
I will dispute that one. I disagree with that one 100%.
So do I.
Not that I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks, but I would dispute that one. In a year that we saw the Motor City Machine Guns on WWE, in a year that we saw A-Town Down Under get the tag team titles. There were so many great tag teams this year. I don't agree with that one.
The top three were FTR, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom, and the Young Bucks.
I would have been fine with FTR or Frazier and Axiom.
I figured Fraxium would have won both. I should have won it. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, 2024, I don't think was a banger year for tag team wrestling like 23 was. 23 had some fucking amazing tag team wrestling. 2024, I don't think was as good. But yeah, I would have taken FTR or Fraxium over the Young Bucks. And I like the Young Bucks, but the EVP storyline slowed them down. They weren't wrestling the same pace that they were wrestling before. So I dispute that one, but it's a fan vote, so who cares?
I can't believe the Motor City Machine Guns are number 8 and DIY is an honorable mention.
Yeah, the tag team champions. And yeah, I don't agree with that one.
Best on interviews, Drew McIntyre. Let's just say best on the internet.
Yeah, I would say that
best
more
troll.
than best promos. I'd put him over Punk from the last year. The promos that Drew's cut have been fucking phenomenal. Interviews are more sit down, or more formal. So that to me, I think the phrasing of that, the categorization of it is wrong, but if we're including promos, I can see Drew. I don't have a problem with that one.
I didn't really have an issue with that.
Yep.
The top 3 of that one was Drew McIntyre. The Rock was number 2.
And Fuckface Phil.
And Hangman Adam Page.
What?
That's what. I don't have an issue with like these awards, but I swear to God, there's so many AEW and Japan marks that subscribe to this man that vote on this thing.
Like, I don't even like Punk, but to say that Punk's not in the top 3 is fucking crazy.
Will Ospreay is over CM Punk.
I don't agree with that at all. That one, the fans were wrong on that, on the top 3. Well,
MJF is number 8.
Well, MJF didn't have a great year, so I can understand him being lower, but I can't understand Hangman unless we're considering the stuff that he did with Swerve. Hangman was fucking.
The more I read this, the wilder. I'm going to give you guys the top 10 just to see how wild this is.
There we go.
Number 1, Drew McIntyre. Number 2, The Rock.
Okay.
Number 3, Adam Page. Number 4, Will Ospreay. Number 5, CM Punk. Number 6, Cody Rhodes. Number 7, Tony Storm. Number 8, MJF. Number 9, Swerve Strickland. And number 10, Paul Heyman.
No fucking way.
What the fuck?
That's just that whole fucking list.
I'm going to go on like a rant on this.
Now I fucking disagree with it. Now it's what the fuck are you thinking?
Huh?
Like Hangman, the only thing that I would agree with Hangman being on that fucking top 10 list is the stuff that he did with Swerve. The shit that he was saying during that was fucking maniacal.
Yeah, other than that,
Paul Heyman at 10, fuck off.
You're telling me
Will Ospreay is better than Paul Heyman on fucking interviews? You've got to be fucking kidding me. There's no fucking way that Paul Heyman should be lower on a list of talkers, not wrestlers, fucking talkers, and you've got Will Ospreay over Paul Heyman. Get fucked, Observer subscribers. You're fucking retarded.
That is stupid as hell. Honorable mentions, Kevin Owens.
Get the
Kevin
fuck
Owens
out
should be
of
like
here.
way up on the top of that list.
Kevin Owens should be number 2 over The Rock.
Weekly TV show. Number 1, AEW Dynamite.
I disagree with that one.
That
too.
is
That's
no.
wrong. It's they do have a phenomenal load of good matches, but week to week television, absolutely fucking not.
AEW is literally filled with. That was a cool segment. That was a good match.
Next
commercial break. What the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, I
followed
disagree
by
with
a
that one.
really cool match. Followed by a.
See, we gave you guys credit to start this segment,
I can't do it.
And now, fuck off. Like TNA on a week to week basis is better programming than AEW.
And it was like double the votes to SmackDown.
That's fucking stupid.
It was 3,424 votes for Dynamite and 1,900 for SmackDown.
Collision is better than Dynamite. Dynamite's not even the best fucking AEW
All
program.
the cool shit happens on Collision.
Yeah. I did. Stupid fucking marks.
The match of the year, Ospreay versus Danielson. I can't really disagree
I
with
agree with that one. I agree because
shit
that was
a
my
banger.
match of the year. I agree with that one.
Which was kind of funny. I saw like there was one. I didn't even put it on here, but there was like big show of the year. WrestleMania Night 2 was voted the best. WrestleMania Night 1 was like on the like list for the worst.
Yeah, I disagree with that one. It should have been night 2 and night 1 back to back as the top 2 shows. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think that's
always-
a fair one. You know what I mean? Neither night was bad. The crowds on night 1 were fucking terrible, but the show itself was not bad by any means.
Here's another one to go fucking crazy for. The women's wrestling MVP. Who the fuck is Sari?
She's very fucking talented, but in a year that we had Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and Timeless Tony Storm, what the fuck?
Do you want to hear this top 10?
Oh, I can't wait. I need a drink on this one.
Oh, this is good. This is good.
Let's go.
Oh, I hate these people for this. Number 10, Roxanne Perez. Number 10, Maika? I don't know what the hell
Maki
that-
Ito.
No, it's a Maika.
Oh,
No idea.
Yeah, no fucking.
Willow Nightingale, number 8.
Willow
Number
had a good
7, Mariah May.
Mariah had a great year.
Number 6, Liv Morgan. She should be way higher
Liv
up
should be
there.
number 2.
Number 5, Mayu Owanti.
Yeah, Mayo Iwatani. A good year. but
Number 4, Mercedes Monet.
fuck off. She did not.
Number 3, Tony Storm, and number 2, Rhea Ripley.
My problem is number 1. Number 1 should have been Rhea, Liv, or Tony, bar none.
Yeah, it has to.
Like this is
That's
just,
the top 3.
This one is 100% New Japan marks just saying we're going to buck the system. We're not going to accept the mainstream stars.
That's kind of like what they did the last couple years, and it was Julia, but
Yeah.
Julia kind of made sense.
Julia was
because-
always fucking phenomenal. She was on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
Nothing. Saria is a good wrestler. She didn't have a better year than any of those 3 that I mentioned. I wouldn't say she had a better year than Mariah.
No.
Mariah is on that list of having a great fucking year.
Hell yeah.
So that one again is another big disagreement.
And then the last one, real quick. Most improved. Kyle Fletcher.
I agree with that one. Kyle had a fucking breakout year with the matches that he had in the Continental Classic. I agree with Kyle having one of the better years. I didn't see who the
I'm
top
going
5
to
were.
war with the Wrestling Observer. That's
Uh-oh.
it.
Let's see.
Nia Jax is on this fucking list. That's it. I'm done. I can't.
Well,
I'm
if
going
you're,
to Twitter war with the whole wrestling internet community.
if you're comparing Nia of 2024 to Nia of 2000, then yeah, I mean she has improved over that. But
Liv
a lot of
Morgan's
it,
number 8.
a lot of that packaging for most improved of the year is because she had fucking Tiffany on her side at her hip the whole year. So of course she was more appealing to watch when she's got Tiffany there.
Oh, this is hilarious. It's Kyle Fletcher. Harley Cameron's number 2.
That's still a bit high. And Harley's been great.
This was like 3 weeks ago. She was like mid-notable. We got
Yeah.
2 minutes
So
left.
this is before. Yeah.
Then Dave Finley, Gabe Kidd, Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland was already like a big deal.
Gabe Kidd should have been higher. What the fuck are we talking about?
Mariah May, Commander, Liv
Right.
Morgan, and Nia Jax. No.
That one, there's a lot of shit that people that should be higher.
It
and
should be
people
that list should be
lower.
rearranged in the
Like
whole...
Gabe Kidd should be top. Gabe Kidd should absolutely be top 3 for the year. He
That guy
had a
went from like
fucking
who's that
banger of
to
the year.
holy shit, this guy needs to go somewhere.
Yeah, he certainly did. So there's some of it I agree with. There's obviously interview of the year and women's wrestling MVP of the year that I think we would fucking go to war on that one.
And then most charismatic, The Rock won by a landslide.
That's not nothing too crazy.
Then number 2 is Will Ospreay. Number 3, CM Punk. Number 4, Swerve Strickland. Number 5, Roman Reigns. Number 6, MJF is below
MJF
all
should be
these
higher
people.
than that.
Cody Rhodes, number 7. Tony Storm, number 9.
Fuck
Harley
off.
Cameron, number 10.
Cameron, oh,
Tony Storm had like
Tony had,
Almost-
as far as like character year, Tony Storm by a fucking landslide. Like Rock and the whole final boss thing was great.
that was cool, but it was like 2 months.
Yeah.
That was it. And then he disappeared, and then he came back and fucked up a whole worth of year storylines.
Yeah.
Just to stroke his ego a little bit and
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, it certainly did. Blew up the storylines and then got upset because the fact that he blew up the storylines changed WrestleMania. Yeah, let's sit and throw a fit. Guys, I'm sorry we missed your comments here. I didn't see who had comeback of the year. But yeah, there's also a lot to dig into next week because there's some free agents that hit the market officially this week. But we will see you guys next week and we will talk all about it.
For sure.